Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Hey, Your Worship, we're good to go.
Thank you, Mr. Larmer. Good afternoon. I would like to call this special council meeting to order of Monday, August the 10th at 4 p.m. It's done through electronic participation, Zoom video conferencing application. If any member would like to have a record, this is being retained according to the Town of Cobourg Retention Bylaw. For more detailed information, please contact our municipal clerk's office. And of course, that would direct you to Mr. Larmer. Are there any disclosure of pecuniary interests of members of council? Seeing none, I'd like to proceed to the reports.
All right. Memo from the Community Events Coordinator regarding the approval of Municipal Community Event Wreath Laying Dedication 75th Anniversary of the Homecoming of Hong Kong Veterans. And the action recommended that Council receive the report from the Community Events Coordinator for information purposes.
Seconder?
I didn't know if we needed a seconder on these ones.
Yep.
Or
yes.
Okay, sorry. My apologies.
That's right, Councillor Darling. Any further discussion? And before we take discussion, I do want to recognize, thank you, Kara, for joining us, and Jackie Chapman Davis on behalf of the town. Any discussion at this point? See none, all those in favor? Carried.
Memo from the Community Events Coordinator regarding the approval of municipal community event Yoga in the Park, a Kimberley Black fundraiser. And the action recommended that Council receive the report from the Community Events Coordinator for information purposes.
Seconder? Councillor Torley, discussion? Councillor Beatty?
Thank you, Your Worship. I just have a quick question. Obviously, I think these events are very, very important in nature. I just want to know for myself, my own learning, these events we're approving are with an exception of the no events happening on Cobourg municipal properties or spaces until August 31st, correct? So by accepting this for information purposes, we're providing approval. We're essentially making exceptions for these unique events, correct?
Well, yes and no. At this point, we're receiving for information that will be discussed during the motions. If so approved in the motions, then I would say yes to your question, but that would happen through the motions. And at that time, are there any other questions of clarification? Seeing none, all those in favor? Against? Carried.
Memo from the Community Events Coordinator regarding the municipal event application, the Tiknor wedding ceremony. Action recommended that the Council receive the report from the Community Events Coordinator for information purposes.
Okay, thank you. Seconder? Deputy Mayor, discussion? All in favor? Against? Carried. Back to Councillor Barrol for motions.
All right, I am going to put forth a motion to use the option to utilize section 19.36 of the Council Procedure Bylaw, which is a motion to suspend the rules of order by a 2/3 majority vote by council. And this pertains to Rule 19.16 in the Municipal Act. And the reason why I want to do this is to bring up a reconsideration motion that I moved back in May, seconded by Councillor Chorley, on banning all the municipal events for until October 31st. Now that the province has gone into stage 3, mostly everybody will be in. There's only one other territory that's not, but it will be on Wednesday. There's been with these events that are happening, or that we may be approving, I think there'll be a lot more events coming forth. And I think it's time that we open up a little bit, and seeing as how we're in the pandemic, and we've made motions before that we've had to reconsider due to the nature of COVID and the province opening things up again as well. So to me, I think we need to go back to the part where the staff follows the provincial orders. They have a committee that goes through them, and I think we should let them determine them rather than everybody having to come to council for these special exemptions. So that's why I'm putting forth that motion to suspend the rules and make it so that it goes back to the way it was pre-COVID with the provincial regulations on events.
And Mr. Larmer, just looking for your guidance in terms of order and sequence. I know Councillor Barros put this on the floor before a discussion of motions. Could you just bring some clarity to this for us, please?
Yeah, sure. So the motion that's presented is from Councillor Bureau, the motion to suspend the rules of order. It'll need a seconder.
Yes.
But what he's indicated is that he wants to suspend section 19.16, which is the process for a notice of motion to reconsider, which is a motion that was passed previously by council. And it's related to 178-20 that was passed at the May 19th meeting. In order for that motion, notice motion to be considered to be in order today, because it's a special council meeting, you would need to suspend the rules of order to go to the next step, which would be the notice of motion to reconsider, which would happen tonight. Both need a 2/3 vote to pass. So right now, what's presented need a seconder, but it's only in regards to the suspension of the rules of section 19.16.
And just for my clarification, and council members and those listening at home, because of the 2/3 and Councillor Burkett not being with us, I believe the majority would be 4, correct? Thank you.
Not the majority, the 2/3 vote would have to have 4 to pass it, correct?
Yes, thank you. All right, any questions on the clerk's comments before I take a seconder and we move forward? A seconder to Councillor Barrot's motion. Councillor Beattie, any further discussion? See none, all those in favor? None against, it is carried. And back to Councillor Barrot.
All right, so I'd like to put a motion to reconsider the motion moved by myself. Sorry, I don't have that. Oh, the motion that was made by myself, May 19th, 2020. Do I have to read that motion, Mr. Larmer?
So through your chair, the motion right now isn't being considered. The only thing that's being considered is the motion to reconsider the motion. So we haven't got to that 3rd step yet. So now it's a 2/3 vote on a motion to reconsider that motion from May 19th, which was motion 178-20.
Everybody clear? A seconder for that, please. Deputy Mayor, any further discussion? See none, all those in favor? Against, carried. Back to Councillor Barrot.
So now, do I read the motion or, yeah?
It's you, chair, to the member. So now what will happen is we'll go back in time like the motion never happened. So Councillor Beer will put on the motion, which who was a seconder, and that will be up for discussion.
All right. So moved by myself that council terminates all community events approved through the community events process in the town of Cobourg until the 1st of September 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic to ensure our residents and safety And further, that council suspend the delegation of authority bylaw number 040-2015 related to the community events, and request that the event currently scheduled and all new events from September 1st, 2020 to December 31st in the town of Cobourg must come to council for approval with staff recommendations. Now, just a quick.
Yes. Sorry, you're asking what of clarification, are you?
Yes.
Okay.
If we don't get a seconder, does this motion fail?
Right.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but no, so to your worship, there's already a seconder on this motion.
Oh, okay.
Yes. From the May, we already have one.
Okay. And seconded by Councillor Chorley then.
Right.
Okay.
Is there, Councillor Beatty, question?
Yes, Your Worship. Through you to most likely the Director Heswick, if I may. I understand why the motion's coming forward to us. Port Hope has resumed their events. Can you remind Council, I believe the last time I read, indoor events would be 50, maximum of 50 people, outdoor events are a maximum of 100. But I guess really my question is, has this been discussed at the emergency control group? And or do you feel your department has the staff resources right now should we see an influx of special event requests, as long as they're in line with provincial standards?
Director Heswick?
Your Worship, to Councillor Beatty, I believe our staff are certainly capable of resuming the application process. I think we've got a good process in place that works across divisions and departments. At this point, all groups that have come forward with ideas for events have been told the same thing, that we were not going to accommodate any based on council direction, at least through August. Most groups have actually canceled most of their plans. There's very few that are currently in discussions, mainly with the school boards. And our understanding is the resumption of school is likely going to result in the cancellation of most special events anyways. So at this point, we're really looking at the Christmas season and the related events, and we've got lots of time to consider that. So if new events come forward, those are certainly the types of things that we talk about at the EOC, and we are very conscious of the provincial requirements and the need to ensure the safety of local residents and visitors. So the 100 maximum capacity for outdoor events is correct, and that's something that we're actively engaged in the organizers of the events before council tonight, and working with them if council chooses to approve those events, to take steps to ensure that we don't breach those maximums. So short answer is, I think we're well positioned to manage that process if that's what council decides.
Councillor Beatty, does that help answer your question? Okay, are there any other clarification before we have a second or any further discussion? Deputy Mayor?
I wouldn't mind if Councillor Bureau read the motion again. Back when it was first read and it was approved by council, it clearly stated that there would be no events until September the 1st. So basically what we need to do, I guess, is the reverse of that in order to have these 3 events go through. And in other words, this motion should be defeated. Is that clear?
Right.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
clear.
That's clear. You don't need to read it again then, Councillor Bureau. I just wanted to make sure that our hands all went up for the right reason. Thank you.
So for clarification, if on the voting aspect of this motion, if we vote for it, it stays. If we don't vote for it, then it's vetoed.
Right.
It's defeated, means it doesn't exist.
Right, that's what I meant.
Okay.
So,
Any clarification regarded otherwise? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? All those against? And it is defeated. And based on that, Councillor Barreau, back to you for the motions.
Okay. Motion from the special, motion from the special council meeting regarding wreath laying dedication 75th anniversary of the homecoming Hong Kong veterans. Do we need a second or anything, or just
We will, you can read, I can get that later from you, or
that is the
We'll have
motion that's on the agenda?
if you can read it, I'll get a seconder as we move. Read
Motion
it.
from the special council meeting regarding the wreath laying dedication 75th anniversary of the homecoming of the Hong Kong veterans. Oh, why did I, sorry. Give me 2 seconds, my apologies. Whereas the special meeting of council on August 10th, 2020, Municipal Council considered a memo from the Community Events Coordinator regarding wreath laying dedication 75th anniversary of the homecoming of the Hong Kong Veterans Municipal Community Event application. Now therefore be resolved that council approve the municipal event application as submitted by Shelling Purcell for the memorial service to be held at the Cenotaph in Victoria Park for a wreath laying dedication for the 75th anniversary of the homecoming of the Hong Kong veterans to be held on Saturday, August 15th, 2020 at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Okay. And I believe that was moved by you, Councillor Burrow.
It was.
Okay, seconder. Councillor Darling, discussion. I just want to make a quick comment. I do wish to thank personally Sheila Purcell. I know in these past few days, she certainly has educated me on the importance of the Hong Kong Veterans Commemoration 75th anniversary and the personal connection to her father, Lieutenant Corrigan. And I just want to give a sincere thank you for bringing me up to speed of where I think we all should be on the importance of this event. So Sheila, if you're listening, thank you very much. With that being said, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Against? Carried. Back to you, Councillor Burrow.
Moved by myself, whereas the special meeting of council, oh, I forgot who seconded it, but as a special meeting of council on August 10, Municipal Council considered a memo from the Community Event Coordinator regarding Yoga in the Park, Kimberley Black Fundraiser Municipal Community Event application. Now therefore be resolved that council approve the municipal event application as submitted by Catherine Tardick for Yoga in the Park, Kimberley Black Fundraiser to be held at Victoria Park Bandshell on August 22nd, 2020 from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Seconder. Councillor Chorley. Again, I just want to make a quick comment. I'd like to thank Councillor Chorley for bringing this to the attention of myself and Director Hoswick. It's a very sensitive issue, and I appreciate the fact that this was brought forward in a very particular time for the family. Is there any other comment, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Against? Carried. Back to you, Councillor Burrow.
Moved by myself, whereas the special meeting of council on August 10th, 2020, Municipal Council considered a memo from the Community Event Coordinator regarding the Tiknor wedding ceremony municipal community event application. Now therefore be resolved that council approve the municipal event application Tiknor wedding ceremony to be held at Lucas Point Park with 50 people in attendance on September 19th, 2020 from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Seconder. Deputy Mayor, discussion? All in favor? Carried. I believe, Mr. Larmer, that addresses our issues at this point.
Yes.
Again, I'd like to thank everybody, including staff, for taking time out of their day to make this special council agenda. It was important that we do this. On that, I'm going to call for adjournment. Councillor Darling, all in favor? Carried. Thank you, everyone. Have a most enjoyable evening.